Hey guys, it's Drew with D2 Woodshop, and today I'm going to give you a quick tour of the shop. So what we've done is we've split the shop into two different areas, and on this side we've got all of the power tools. And to start us off, we've got a 3 horsepower industrial saw stop table here with the sliding table, which is really nice, a solid, really reliable table saw. Alright guys, so just behind the table saw we have a 15-inch Powermatic planer and an 8-inch Delta joiner, and both of these have helical heads in them, and they're right next to each other as they're usually used in unison. Alright, and then down the line we've got a 14-inch Laguna bandsaw and a Powermatic drill press. The drill press kind of sits back here in the corner as it's not used nearly as much as these three tools. Okay, then on the opposite side of the planer joiner, bandsaw, and drill press, we have our miter saw station. And we've got a Bosch 12-inch Glide miter saw. This is a really nice saw as it doesn't take a whole lot of depth to the miter saw station. In fact, this saw can be pushed back significantly further than where it is right here. Alright, then we've got adjacent from the side of the joiner, planer. Alright, then on the other side of the wall here, from the planer, joiner, bandsaw, and drill press, we have our miter saw station, and this is a 12-inch Bosch Glide miter saw. This is a really great saw, really reliable, and the nice thing about it is it doesn't take a whole lot of depth to the miter saw station. And so this may look really familiar as we've built out J. Bates miter saw station, and it's really nice, lots and lots of storage. In fact, there's almost too much storage that it's not necessarily being used. On down the line from the miter saw station, we have our router table. And this is a bench dog router table with a cast iron top. It's got a woodpecker's quick lift, router lift in it, along with a 3 1/4 porter cable router underneath. This table is really nice because it gives you a lot of storage for router bits and all the router table accessories, feather boards, and all these inserts for the router lift itself. The router table fence just sits here on the wall and then is placed on when it's in use. And then we like to keep this clean because it can be used for a tabletop or a moving rolling parts cart. So during the design aspect of building the shop out, we were thinking about ways that we could eliminate tools out of the actual shop to give us more floor real estate in the actual shop. And so a couple ideas that we had is to pipe in the dust collector and the air compressor. And so here in the side wall of the basement, we cut out a 9-inch hole out of the concrete slab, and then on the outside of this door, or on the outside of this window, is a big 12x16 shed that houses the dust collector. Okay, so we've been able to put the dust collector in the shed on the outside of this window and bring the pipe in along with the air compressor pipe. It's been really nice because it reduces on noise and it reduces on mess, and the fine dust particles that go through the filter don't actually end up back in the shop. They're in the shed outside. So this is really nice. It also saves space and allows us to have more real estate here inside the shop. So we've got an 8-inch piping that comes down and branches off here at this Y, and then goes down the 2 side walls of the power tool area and has drops down into each individual tool. Through here there's a T. One side goes to the spray room and the other side goes back down around to a regulator and filter over here and on down the long side of the shop. Another important piece of another important tool here is this air filter. And this air filter helps remove any and all of the small dust particles that either the table saw kicks up or the miter saw station kicks up. It's just really nice to have additional dust collection or air filtration here in the shop. Alright, at the end of the outfeed table of the table saw, we have our assembly area. And we've got this man door that allows us to come in through the walkout basement. And it's really nice as we don't need to track dust and wood through the actual house, and it can just come straight in through these doors. Alright, and then this is one of my favorite parts of the shop, as we've got a lot of tool organization here. We've got all of our battery powered hand tools and a lot of our Festool sustainers and all of the Festool tools here. It's nice that every tool has its place and has a home, and I think that's really important in keeping a shop organized and clean, and keeps you from just searching aimlessly throughout the shop for one specific tool. Alright, and then across the way from the man doors, we've got our hand tool and battery operated tools here, and it's really nice. Across from the man doors, we've got all of our battery powered tools, hand tools, and a lot of our hardware and Festool tools. It's really nice having this cabinet built out because it gives somewhere for everything to go, and it just keeps the shop far more organized than if things were just kind of stacked on top of each other. There is this tabletop that kind of acts as a catch-all, but it's nice that it's real narrow and there's only so much you can set on top of it. I think that's one critical point within having a shop and keeping your tools organized, so that you don't aimlessly search throughout the shop for one specific tool. I always hated that before, when I'd be searching and searching and searching, and be like 10 minutes that I'm looking for a specific tool or a specific accessory to a tool, and wouldn't know where it was because it was hidden under a table somewhere else or in a corner on the opposite side of the shop, and I didn't know where it was. So this really is nice to have a place for each individual tool, each individual piece of hardware, and I just know where everything is. Alright, so on this end of the shop, we've got our assembly table. It's a modified Polk workbench that we have lowered. It's only about, 25 inches tall, which is really nice when you're working on cabinetry or taller pieces of furniture, as I can stand them up if need be, rather than having them on their side or on their back. Alright, on this back wall, we've got our wall clamp. And as you can see, everything is organized and put together in their different styles of clamps, which makes it really nice to be able to look at the wall, see what clamps are available, and use and grab the clamps that you need. I always hated and always still hate when this isn't cleaned up like it is right now. Searching for a specific style of clamp, or I need a deep-throated C clamp or F clamp, and not knowing where it is or have it up over in another corner. This wall makes it really nice to be able to organize everything, be able to turn around, look, and see exactly what I have, and go and grab it, rather than having to dig through piles and stacks and corners of clamps. Alright guys, so I'm standing in the middle of the spray room, and this room is really nice to be able to have more or less of a dust-free area, as we've got a plastic partition wall here at the front of the finish room. Alright guys, so I'm standing in the middle of the finish room, which is on the opposite wall of, or is on the other side of the wall of the miter saw station. It's really nice to be able to have a dust-free area for finishing and spraying furniture pieces. Alright guys, I'm standing in the middle of the spray room, and it's really nice to have a space like this to be dust-free or relatively dust-free when finishing or spraying a piece of furniture. It also allows us to be able to work on other projects at the same time as we're finishing something. It makes it so that there's not a whole lot of downtime when finishing a project. I can be waiting for something to dry and be in the dust zone of the shop, cutting up stuff or sanding or doing whatever else needs to be done for the same project or a next project. And so some nice accessories or some nice features of the spray room are these wall-mounted lights here on each side. It allows for a lot of extra light to be in here, so it's really bright, shows any and all imperfections in a piece that helps with. And so what we've got here is in the window well, we've got two fans that are set up to be blowing air and kind of keep all of the overspray out of the air and out the door or out the window. So another thing that we have set up here is in the window we've got two fans that are set up to be able to push the air or overspray out the window so that it either doesn't settle on the piece or doesn't settle inside this room. We still get some settlement of overspray, but it really minimizes it. Alright guys, thanks for sticking around for this shop tour of 2019. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. Hit that subscribe button and give me a like on this video. And until next time, that's a wrap.